At the beginning of the film we are introduced to Aryang, the daughter of Hong Kong's most powerful Black Dragon gangster boss who is attending one of her father's important meetings with other gangsters. But the other gang members apparently plan to humiliate the Black Dragon boss by humiliating his daughter in a meeting. The other gang boss then asked Aryang to dance and show off her elegant swordsmanship, but one of the rival gang members deliberately threw a sharp shard of glass on the floor. This made Aryang step on it and caused his leg to bleed. While people from other gangs laughed at him, Aryang continued his sword dance professionally. But when his patience ran out, he then stabbed the glass thrower's hand with his sword through the table. Because of that, the meeting turned tense, where the two gangsters who were both powerful in Hong Kong almost got into a war before being stopped by Aryang's father. The next day, Aryang, who was dissatisfied with his avenger, immediately tracked down the rival gangster boss, and quickly slit his throat in a barber shop and killed him for the insult he had committed the night before. After his funeral, one of the higher members of the organization vowed to take revenge on Aryang. News of Aryang's behavior then reached her father's ears. The father, who felt that his daughter was now in danger and would be hunted down by his rival gang, finally decided to send Aryang to Korea and keep her safe with another gangster boss in Korea who was also his friend. Kichul is a lowly gangster in Korea. He is trusted by Big Boss to keep Aryang safe in Korea as he knows a little Chinese. He visited the airport the next day with his subordinates to pick up Aryang. She thought Aryang would be a strong male gangster, but she was surprised to learn that he was a sexy woman. After meeting her, they then immediately took Aryang to her workplace to meet with Big Boss, where the boss told Aryang to make herself at home and feel free to order Kichul around during her stay in Korea. They then went to Kichul's house and his subordinates. They are still trying to show who the boss is, trying to show their power. Before long, a translator comes to their house to help with communication between the guests and the gangsters. They all sit down and talk, but the translator is scared and intimidated by the gangsters. He began to translate Aryang's rather rude sentences into better ones to prevent the gangsters' anger. Aryang then made a request to the gangsters to find his missing mother. The next morning, Kichul's men were annoyed by the sudden arrival of a rival gang. They were outnumbered, but Aryang was there and helped them out by kicking a small table at the intruders. They all fell to the floor so Kichul's men could easily beat them up one by one. In the evening, the group went to a restaurant to eat and drink. Kichul and one of his men got drunk and went to the bathroom. The rival gangs suddenly showed up, wanting revenge for the warm welcome they received in the morning. They tried to mess with Aryang and also chase Kichul's men away. Aryang retaliated by throwing chopsticks at the group before landing a powerful kick that knocked them out. Kichul's men reported the fight to Kichul, but he was drunk and didn't believe the story. The defeated rival gang reported back to their leader, targeting Kichul's group. After further investigation, the rival gang decided to invite Kichul and Aryang to their base. Once they arrived at the rival base, they were shocked by the sight of Kichul's men who had been beaten up earlier. A duel then begins between the rival gang boss and Kichul. Kichul pounced on him, but was met with a punch to the face. He got up and tried again, but was punched right in the face again. He got up once more, and this time, Aryang helped him by throwing a bean into the boss's eye. As the boss staggered, Kichul managed to land an uppercut to the boss's head. The rival gang soon came to his aid, surrounding Kichul and landing blows to his body with bats and punches. Although Kichul managed to survive, he was outnumbered. Aryang then stepped forward, pushing Kichul aside and fighting off the group of men. Despite being surrounded, he managed to land powerful kicks on all of his opponents. Within seconds, all the gang members were on the floor. Aryang was the last woman alive. Kichul and his men could only stand in awe. The group returned home shortly after. Kichul and Aryang decided to relax together in the garden, drinking together. It was obvious that there was a language barrier between the two, but Kichul was starting to feel attracted to the woman. Aryang also seemed to enjoy their company.
对吧？
뭐냐? 지금? 야!
擦掉了。晚安。
The next day, they had breakfast together. Aryang begins to open up and behave better towards the gangsters, but the translator continues to translate with threatening sentences, causing fear in Kichul's subordinates. Kichul begins to feel suspicious of the translator, feeling that he is translating poorly even though Aryang seems comfortable around the gangsters.
忘了昨天那一幕가락 집어라.
너 제대로 전하는 거 맞아?
Kichul and his men then went to their base and saw that the rival gang boss was there and admitted defeat. As he was escorted out, Kichul was promoted from lowly gangster to big boss's right-hand man. All thanks to Aryang's hard work against rival gangs. In China, the rival Black Dragon gang had apparently learned of Aryang's presence in Korea and immediately sent professional assassins to take care of Aryang. Aryang's group was having fun together in the city, but were interrupted by the arrival of the hitmen.
真派你们来的吧？
时间不多了。
老公，啥嘛？别过来！
They managed to escape and take cover, but Aryang was shot in the arm. Kichul reports this incident to his big boss. The group returns home and devises a plan for their safety. They split into two groups, Kichul with Aryang, and the translator with his underlings. They move quickly, as the assassins seem to be in their neighborhood. As they split up, the assassins are only concerned with Kichul and Aryang's car, chasing them around the neighborhood.
야, 뭐 하는 거야 지금? 야! 야, 빨리 봐!
However, they managed to escape after the killers crashed into a passing truck. They both decided to seek refuge in Kichul's family home. They managed to get some fresh air and rest. Kichul's parents believed that Aryang was Kichul's girlfriend and her mother told Kichul to give her their family necklace. While the couple rests safely, the same cannot be said for Aryang's father, the Black Dragon boss. After his meeting with the higher-ups about his daughter's safety, a bomb explodes, leaving the boss in the blast.
我只不過以牙還牙，我有嘅人死傷無數。
A few days later, Kichul and Aryang reunite with the subordinates and translator. Aryang sneaks away from them to try to call his father, but the assassins suddenly appear. As their vision was obscured by dust, Aryang managed to throw his dagger straight through two of the assassins' necks, leaving only the leader remaining. Both displayed fantastic sword skills, skillfully parrying each other's attacks. Even so, Aryang outsmarted him by diving into the haystack. As the leader dived and tried to stab through the haystack, Aryang stabbed him in the stomach, ending the fight with Aryang's victory. Afterwards, Kichul told Aryang that his mother had been found, but told him to prepare himself. Aryang then sees her mother from a distance, already with a new family and looking happy. She decides not to talk to her, for fear of ruining her mother's happiness. After that, Aryang decides to leave Korea and return to Hong Kong. Kichul tries to confess his love to her before he leaves, but she ignores him. Aryang arrived at her father's house, seeing that her father survived the explosion, but barely survived with severe burns and injuries all over his body. Shortly after, he passed away after seeing his daughter for the last time. The next day, Kichul visits her, giving her the family necklace and also receiving a kiss from Aryang. In short, Aryang then learnt that the new boss of the rival gang was getting married. Where at the time of the wedding Aryang infiltrated the party alone to approach the new boss of the rival gang who was also the murderer of his father. When the two of them face off, Aryang pulls out a sword and slashes the front of the boss. Chaos ensues at the wedding with reinforcements for Aryang arriving shortly after, including Kichul. But Aryang easily handles the gangsters, dodging all the shots and quickly eliminating the weaker gangsters. Even when she was outnumbered and in a dark place, she managed to land her powerful kicks and slashes on the gangsters. Even the boss's right-hand man was no match for her, dodging her shots and immediately throwing a knife into his chest. A quick and clean kill. Finally, she managed to reach her boss once again, still alive but wounded. Aryang tried to approach with her two swords, but the boss bullied her, throwing away her swords and pulling a gun out of her sleeve, landing a shot in her leg. The woman falls to the floor with the gun pointed at her, but Kichul comes to her rescue. She manages to distract the boss, but is hit by a bullet and falls off a tall building. Aryang uses this opportunity to get close to her and lands a stab on her, followed by a knife thrown at her body. The boss falls off the building and dies on the street. Aryang then saw Kichul, who was still alive because he landed on a garbage truck that happened to be passing by. After the chaos, Aryang was promoted and became the boss of the Black Dragons. Kichul then decided to leave her and went to the airport. However, one of Aryang's right hands then ensured that Aryang would not regret it if she let Kichul go. So she realizes that she has also fallen in love with Kichul and immediately chases after him. The gang's cars blocked the taxi on the highway, while Aryang and Kichul got out of their respective vehicles. In the end they are surrounded by Black Dragons. And with the help of Aryang's trusted assistant as their translator, Kichul proposes to Aryang with his family necklace, and they embrace each other at sunset.
어디냐고?
朕跟我求婚了，笨蛋。
결혼한답니다.
싫다면
이거 좀 쳐봐. 오케이.
演出替你花惹草的话，
해드리겠답니다.
That's the plot of the film. It was fortunate for Kichul to have the daughter of a gangster boss by his side, even though she was a lowly member.